Hello everyone. I welcome you all in the session of English language. I'm Kavita Sabharwal, working as English mistress at Government Senior Secondary School for Boys, Raho, in SBS Nagar. Dear students, today we are going to start with an interesting story, The Dying Detective, given in the supplementary reader of class 10th. The story is about a detective, Sherlock Holmes. Dear students, dying means approaching death or expiring, and detective is a person, especially a police officer, who tries to solve crimes. The title of the story is very interesting. Dear students, before we start with the story, let me tell you that Sherlock Holmes is a fictional private detective created by British author Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, whose picture you can see on the screen. I know you must be eager to read the story, The Dying Detective. But here's a list of words which are new to you. You must know their pronunciation as well as meanings. This will help you to understand the story in a better way. Let's get started. First, detective. It means a police officer whose occupation is to investigate and solve crimes. Second, sinking. It means reducing. Third, horrified. It means shocked. Fourth, rushed. It means hurried. Gloomy. It means dark. Gaunt. It means thin. Flushed. It means turned red. Twitched. It means trembled. Listless. It means without any energy. Contagious. Dear students, it means spreading from one person to another. Aroused. It means awakened. Ignorant. It means unaware. Groan. It means cry. Plague. It means disease. Bolted. It means locked. So dear students, these were some new words and their meanings. Now let us move forward and without any delay, read the story. The Dying Detective. The detective Sherlock Holmes was seriously ill, so he asked his landlady to get his assistant Watson. Watson accompanied the lady to his house. Was he able to save his master? Let's read to find out. Mrs. Hudson, the landlady of Sherlock Holmes, came to me and said, "Mr. Holmes is dying, Mr. Watson. For 3 days he has been sinking, and I doubt if he will last another day. He would not let me get a doctor. I told him I could not stand it anymore and would get a doctor. He replied, "Let it be Watson then." I was horrified, for I had not heard about his illness before. I rushed for my hat and coat. As we drove back, I asked her about the details. "There is little I can tell you, sir. He has been working on a case down at Rotherhithe, near the river, and has brought this illness back with him. He took to bed on Wednesday afternoon and has never moved since. For 3 days, neither food nor drink has passed his lips." "Why did you not call a doctor?" I asked. "He wouldn't have it, sir. I didn't dare to disobey him." He was indeed a sad sight. In the dim light of a foggy November day, the sick room was a gloomy spot, but it was the gaunt face staring from the bed that brought chill to my heart. His eyes had the brightness of fever. His cheeks were flushed. His hands twitched all the time. He lay listless. "My dear fellow," I cried, approaching him. "Stand back! Stand right back!" he cried. "But why? I want to help you," I said. "Certainly, Watson, but it is for your own sake." "For my sake?" I was surprised. "I know what is the matter with me. It is the disease from Sumatra. It is deadly and contagious. Watson, that's it, and by touch." "Good heavens! Holmes, do you think it can stop me?" I said, advancing towards him. "If you will stand there, I'll talk. If you don't, you must leave the room," said my master. I have always given in to Holmes' wishes, but now my feelings as a doctor were aroused. I was at least his master in the sick room. "Holmes," I said, "you are not yourself whether you like it or not. I will examine your symptoms and treat you." "If I am to have a doctor," said he, "let me at least have someone in whom I have confidence." "Then you have none in me?" "In your friendship, certainly. But facts are facts, Watson. You are a general practitioner, not a specialist of this disease. If so, let me bring Sir Jasper Meek or Penrose Fisher or any other best man in London." "How ignorant you are, Watson," he said with a groan. "What do you know about tarpon fever or the black Formosa plague?" "I have never heard of them," I admitted. "There are many problems of the disease in the East. I have learnt that much during my recent researches, and during this course I caught this illness, he said. I will bring Dr. Einstein then, I said, going towards the door. Never have I had such a shock when the dying man bolted the door and locked it and holding the key in his hand. The next moment he was back in his bed. So dear students, here finishes the first part of the story, The Dying Detective. Dear students, I have got a few exercises for you. Let's start with the first exercise. This exercise will help you to expand your vocabulary. The question is, fill in the blanks with suitable words. Please do it, students. Write the answers only. First, having eaten nothing for days, the beggar looked dash and weak. Second, people were dash to hear the news of plane crash. Third, his face dash with anger. Fourth, corona is a highly dash virus. Fifth, the illness made me so dash that I rarely got out of bed. Sixth, the teacher's speech dash students' interest. And the given words are contagious, horrified, aroused, flushed, listless, gaunt. Please do it, students. I will give you some time. Please fill in the blanks with suitable words. I know you can do it. It's very easy for you. Having eaten nothing for days, the beggar looked dash and weak. People were dash to hear the news of plane crash. His face dash with anger. Corona is a highly dash virus. The illness made me so dash that I rarely got out of bed. The teacher's speech dash students' interest. I hope you have completed. Let us move forward. Here I have got answers for you. Please check and tally your answers. Having eaten nothing for days, the beggar looked gaunt and weak. Second, people were horrified to hear the news of plane crash. Third, his face flushed with anger. Fourth, corona is a highly contagious virus. Fifth, the illness made me so listless that I rarely got out of bed. Sixth, the teacher's speech aroused students' interest. Dear students, I hope you have checked your answers. Let us move forward. Dear students, let us do another interesting exercise. A question is given with 3 suggestive answers. Please choose the correct option and write your answer. First, Sherlock Holmes was a dash. The given options are doctor, lawyer, detective. Second, who was Mrs. Hudson? The options are she was Sherlock Holmes' landlady, she was Sherlock Holmes' mother, she was Sherlock Holmes' doctor. Please do it. Choose the correct option and write the answer. Sherlock Holmes was a dash, doctor, lawyer, detective. Who was Mrs. Hudson? She was Sherlock Holmes' landlady. She was Sherlock Holmes' mother. She was Sherlock Holmes' doctor. Students, I hope you have completed. Let us check the answers. Please check your answers. First, Sherlock Holmes was a dash. The given options are doctor, lawyer, detective. The correct option is detective. Sherlock Holmes was a detective. Second, who was Mrs. Hudson? The options are she was Sherlock Holmes' landlady, she was Sherlock Holmes' mother, she was Sherlock Holmes' doctor. The correct option is she was Sherlock Holmes' landlady. Let us move forward. Third, please do it. What was special about Holmes' disease? The options are it was incurable, it was deadly and contagious, it did not need any treatment. Fourth, why did Holmes not allow Watson to treat him? The options are Holmes did not trust Watson, Watson had no knowledge of medical, Watson was not specialist of Holmes' disease. Please do it, students. I'll give you some time. Choose the correct option. What was special about Holmes' disease? It was incurable. It was deadly and contagious. It did not need any treatment. Why did Holmes not allow Watson to treat him? Holmes did not trust Watson. Watson had no knowledge of medical. Watson was not specialist of Holmes' disease. I hope you have completed. Let us check our answers. Please check. Third, what was special about Holmes' disease? Options: it was incurable, it was deadly and contagious, it did not need any treatment. The correct option is it was deadly and contagious. Fourth, why did Holmes not allow Watson to treat him? The options are Holmes did not trust Watson, Watson had no knowledge of medical, Watson was not specialist of Holmes' disease. The correct option is Watson was not specialist of Holmes' disease. I think you have checked your answers. Let us move forward. Here's another exercise. Let's do it. Please write the answers only. The sentences have been changed from direct to indirect speech. Some words are missing. Fill in the blanks to complete the sentences. First, direct speech. Mrs. Hudson said, Mr. Holmes is dying, Mr. Watson. Indirect speech. Mrs. Hudson told Dash that Mr. Holmes was dying. Second, direct speech. Why didn't you call a doctor? I asked Mrs. Hudson. Indirect speech. I asked Dash why she had not called a doctor. Third, direct speech. Holmes, I said, I will examine you and treat you. Indirect speech. I told Dash that I would examine him and treat him. Please do it, students. I know it's very easy for you. I believe in you. You are doing very good today. I hope you have completed. Let us move forward and check our answers. Here we have got the answers. Please check. First, Mrs. Hudson said, Mr. Holmes is dying, Mr. Watson. Mrs. Hudson told Mr. Watson that Mr. Holmes was dying. The answer is Mr. Watson. Second, why didn't you call a doctor? I asked Mrs. Hudson. I asked Mrs. Hudson why she had not called a doctor. The answer is Mrs. Hudson. Third, Holmes, I said, I will examine you and treat you. I told Holmes that I would examine him and treat him. The answer is Holmes. I hope you have completed, dear students. Let us move forward. Here we are having the summary of part 1 of the story, The Dying Detective. Let us read and revise. Sherlock Holmes was a detective and Watson was his assistant. Mrs. Hudson, the landlady of Sherlock Holmes, came to Watson and told him that Holmes was seriously ill. He had asked her to bring Mr. Watson instead of a doctor. Watson was shocked to hear about Holmes' illness. On their way back, Mrs. Hudson told Watson details about Holmes' illness. Watson was horrified to see Holmes' condition, but Holmes did not let Watson examine his symptoms and treat him. He told Watson that his disease was deadly and contagious. Watson insisted on bringing the specialist doctor of the town to get Holmes treated. but Holmes forbade him to do so. He locked the door from inside and got back in his bed. So here finishes the summary of first part of the story, The Dying Detective. Now let's move forward. Dear students, I have got home assignment for you. Please note down. Answer the following questions in your own words in about 30 to 40 words each. First, who was Mrs. Hudson? Why did she go to Mr. Watson's house? Second, where did Holmes get the illness from? When did he get it? Third, what was Holmes' condition when Watson saw him? Fourth, why did Holmes not let Watson examine him? Dear students, please note down and do this home assignment in a beautiful handwriting. Please recall the content that we have read today and try to answer these questions. I hope you have noted down. So dear students, now it's time to say goodbye. Today we have read the first part of the story, The Dying Detective. We have done some exercises related to the story. We have also done the summary of the content read today. I hope you enjoyed today's session. We will do the next part in another session. See you soon. Till then, goodbye.